Hello, folks. This story was sent to me by a subscriber and is intended for educational purposes only. Thank you for watching. 455 grams magic mushrooms. The day the trees started laughing. I had been curious about magic mushrooms for a while, hearing tales of their mind-bending effects. But I wanted a solid dose to truly test my limits. So I decided on 450 grams, knowing it would be potent enough to shake the walls of my reality, but still safe within reason. The day was sunny, but gentle. The kind of spring day that feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting for something extraordinary to happen. Little did I know it was about to. About 45 minutes after swallowing the bitter mushroom pieces, the world around me began to shift subtly. At first, it was the leaves on the trees. They seemed to shimmer with an extra vibrancy, almost humming with life. Then the most unexpected thing happened. The trees started laughing. Not just any laugh, but a deep, rumbling chuckle that seemed to come from their ancient roots, vibrating through the ground and into my bones. I rubbed my eyes, thinking it was some trick of the light, or maybe my mind playing games. But the laughter persisted, growing louder and more joyful. It was as if the forest itself was throwing a cosmic party, and I had unwittingly stumbled into the VIP section. The branches swayed in rhythm, leaves fluttering like applause. Birds joined in, their chirps and whistles blending into a wild, otherworldly chorus. Compelled by curiosity and the giddy vibe, I wandered deeper into the park near my house, feeling like Alice tumbling down a rabbit hole into a world where nature had decided to crack jokes at the universe's expense. The bark on the trees morphed into faces, mischievous, wise, some downright silly. One tree winked at me, the knot in its trunk twisting into a smirk. Another seemed to nod approvingly, its leaves whispering secrets in a language I almost understood. Suddenly, the ground beneath my feet turned soft and spongy, like a trampoline woven from moss and old dreams. I bounced lightly, each hop making the laughter ripple louder. It was contagious. I couldn't help but laugh too, feeling the absurd joy bubble up from somewhere deep inside, a place where worries and deadlines simply couldn't reach. As I walked, the world continued its carnival of weirdness. Sidewalk cracks blossomed into tiny, glowing flowers that giggled when stepped on. A squirrel paused to stare at me, then offered a tiny acorn, balancing it on its paw like a delicate gift. I accepted it, and suddenly my hands tingled as if infused with electric warmth. The acorn pulsed gently, and I could swear I heard a soft voice whisper, "Thank you, friend." Then came the part that made my heart nearly explode with laughter and confusion. I found a bench and sat down, only to realize the bench was breathing. It expanded and contracted like a sleeping giant, and when I rested my hand on its wooden arm, it tickled me like a feather. I burst out laughing, the bench joining in with a creaky chuckle that vibrated through my fingertips. Time lost all meaning. Minutes stretched and contracted, morphing into shapes of colors and sound. I felt like a cosmic sponge soaking up waves of absurdity and beauty. The sky above pulsed with swirling patterns, pink elephants, dancing teapots, and flying jelly beans all whirled in kaleidoscopic frenzy. At one point, a cloud drifted low enough that I could almost touch it. It whispered, "Welcome to the absurd theater of life." And I felt utterly at home in this madcap performance. The trees told stories, the wind sang songs. And I was the audience and the performer all at once, caught in the joyful dance of existence. As the peak of the trip faded, the laughter of the trees softened to a warm chuckle, like a friend's gentle sigh. The faces in the bark became plain again. The glowing flowers dimmed, and the bench settled into stillness. But inside me, the echoes remained. A reminder that life's weirdness is a gift to be embraced. That laughter is the language of the soul, and that sometimes the trees just want to make you smile. When I finally made it back home, the world felt both ordinary and extraordinary. The mundane had been touched by magic, and I carried a secret smile, knowing the trees were still laughing somewhere, waiting for the next curious traveler to join their cosmic joke.